Have you noticed how hard it is to sell AI services to local businesses? It's almost crazy. It's almost like you're trying to feed vegetables to your kids or something like that. It's like, they need it, but as soon as you start talking about it, as soon as they see it, they like freak out and run away. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we've been doing that's been successful at incorporating automation and AI tools into our packages. So I'm Lee Blue. I'm the founder of Double Stack, where I personally mentor some of today's top web designers. And I just want to share with you some of the things that have been working for us. And I think it'll be helpful for a lot of people, because I know these local business owners really need these types of tools, but it's hard to kind of get your foot in the door with them. So let's talk about three things. Number one, let's talk about maybe 4 or 5 of the most popular automation and AI workflows that we've been offering to our clients, so you can kind of just see what's been working for us. Number 2, how do you incorporate them into your offer? And number 3, how do you actually get local businesses to buy this stuff? How do you sell these things to local businesses so they don't run away from the vegetables? Just real quick before we jump in, I want to talk about automation versus AI. So what I mean by this is an automation is simply when X happens, then do Y without bothering me, right? So that's kind of like an automation. AI is sort of introducing a decision-making process. Given the situation of X, help me decide what Y should be. So just as we go through all this, that's kind of what I mean, the difference between automation and AI. So what are the services that we're offering, and what are the things that seem to be most popular amongst local businesses? Well, in the field of AI, the things that have been the most popular so far have been AI chatbots, where you can seed the chatbot with a lot of FAQ style information, stick that on the website, kind of on the homepage, the bottom right corner that kind of pops up, and then let customers just sort of type in questions and get answers without having to search through the website for it. That's not very difficult to implement. High Level can implement that kind of stuff with you, and it's really popular. It's something that a lot of local business owners really like. The next thing that's also really popular has been AI assistants for things like booking and scheduling. We work with an axe throwing company, and they just have a hard time taking all the phone calls and scheduling all the appointments. And the lady that runs the company, she also has a couple of small children. She just had a baby a few months ago, and it's just hard for her to do all the booking. And she didn't really want to spend all the money on hiring a whole employee just to do the scheduling. And so AI has been able to really streamline that workflow for booking axe. I don't know if you've ever done axe throwing. It's kind of like bowling, but instead of bowling, you're throwing axes. So it's really fun. It's really cool. And you can just go on the website and then book your own lanes. And it's great because the AI service can ask you when do you want to come, and it'll look to see what lanes are available and ask you how many people are there. And so it's given the situation of when you want to come and how many people you want to bring, help me decide which lane you can get and how much it's going to cost and all that stuff. So that's a really great way to implement AI services for those types of clients. Then there's some deeper ones like predictive lead scoring. It's very difficult to introduce predictive lead scoring into a local business as the first service that you offer. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But it's very helpful if they can actually do it. So predictive lead scoring is you get some leads coming in, and then you sort of analyze the details of the lead, what pages of the website did they visit, or how fast did they respond, and just certain metrics about the lead to basically help you respond to the most likely leads to buy before you respond to the leads that are probably not going to turn into sales. And so that's really helpful because it helps you prioritize what you should do first in terms of your marketing and especially your lead responses. But then we have 2 things that are more like automations than AI. And one that's super popular is missed call text back. And this is a feature that's also available through High Level. None of that, I'm not an affiliate with any of this stuff. So I'm just mentioning where you can get it if you want it. But that's a really cool thing. And so the thing if you haven't heard of missed call text back, basically somebody calls a local business and they can't answer the phone for whatever reason, they're busy, whatever. They miss the call, and then a text message goes back that says, hey, this is Lee with Double Stack. Sorry, I missed your call. How can I help you? That's basically all you need to say in the text message. It doesn't have to be AI driven or dynamic or anything crazy like that. Just or if it was a local business, you could say, hey, this is Lee with HVAC repair service or whatever. Sorry, we missed your call. How can we help? And then the person can just text you back how you can help. And maybe that results in a phone call later, or maybe not. Maybe you can just do the whole thing over text. But that's such a great service to offer because it's so obvious that you should totally be doing that, right? So because you miss a call, why not get a text? And a lot of people even prefer texting over calls. And they're oh, what a relief! I get to just text you. So that's a really big one. Another one that we actually kind of built internally through a Google Sheet and Zapier is this thing that we call the nudger. And basically what it is you take a spreadsheet and you put the clients, so like let's say the context would be something like a dog grooming business or a salon or something where like you see people on a recurring basis but not on a subscription. So like it's up to them to schedule the next appointment each time. But you normally see the same kind of people over and over, like your dog grooming business. Like you don't go to a different dog grooming person every single time you need to cut your dog's hair or get yourself a haircut or whatever. So like let's say you normally see a particular dog every 6 weeks, and then you can put like the contact information into the Google Sheet on a row, the date that you last saw them, and then the amount of time between sessions, like 6 weeks. And then the Google Sheet will then calculate, well, what's 6 weeks from the date that we last saw the person? And then Zapier will look at that Google Sheet, and when that six week time frame passes, it'll send out an email and say, hey, it's about time to get Fluffy groomed again or something like that. And so people can book the appointments like that. And that's super helpful. And it's really cool too, because you can customize it based on how often you normally see a particular client. So maybe you see Fluffy every 6 weeks, but maybe you see like Spot or whatever, like with somebody else's dog every 4 weeks or something like that. And so you can kind of customize the frequency of those kind of nudger kind of, like kind of nudging people to schedule that appointment based on when you like what their normal cycle is. And then when you send out the email, you can then send a link to one of these AI assistants to actually help book it, which is really cool. So now you've got like an automated and an AI assistant, kind of an automation and AI assistant kind of working together to kind of get all of this repeat business, like all this like customer loyalty style business, which is awesome. So those are the different features that we've been seeing as being like the easiest to sell, the most popular. And then, but there's 3 ways to integrate all of these different AI services into the businesses. And I think that each one sort of stacks as it goes up. Like the first and easiest way to start integrating AI tools is just simply integrating them with your own workflow so that you're faster, more efficient, and like you're using AI to be more powerful at your own job. And then maybe the fruits of that sort of cascade into the work that you're doing for your client. And so that'd be things like copywriting, graphic design work, ideation with regard to headlines and email subject lines and stuff like that. I really discourage the content creation with AI where you just say, hey, write the website copy for a plumber or something like that. We've got a much better approach that we've been using in DoubleStack where we actually interview the client for a while over Zoom. We record the Zoom call, and then we seed AI with that recorded script so that all the content that we create sounds like the actual business owner. So, and I can show you how to do all that. That's part of what we do in DoubleStack. I'll show you how to do that later. But like, that's a really great way to use AI to write content, because one of the things that I'll say, like I'll use a prompt that says, whatever you think, treat this transcript as like the gold standard. Like don't deviate from anything that we talk about here in this transcript, because that's what the client actually does in their voice with their business. And so that avoids all of this echo chamber, just like go out to the internet and just grab kind of like repetitive content. And now we're actually focusing on the real content that the client's using. So that's a really cool way to sort of integrate AI into my workflow. But then the next step up that kind of goes above that is integrating AI into the client's kind of like marketing style. So like that would be where you get the AI chatbots and the missed call text back and all of that kind of stuff. So the AI assistants, I would consider all of those to be sort of integrating AI and automations into the client's marketing. And then the hardest, like the deepest level, and the thing that's the most difficult to sell to people is integrating AI into the client's internal workflows, like that predictive lead scoring thing, where you're trying to like allow the leads that are most likely to become customers to kind of bubble up to the top. I mean, it's hard to get access to the data and the tools that you need to sort of integrate something at that deep of a level into a client's business. And so if they've never heard of you before, like you're just kind of getting introduced to the client for the first time, it's almost impossible for them to say, yeah, I think it's a good idea for you to come in and completely rejigger all of our CRM and everything to do this predictive lead scoring thing. So then it comes down to the question, well, let's talk about how to actually sell these services to the clients. And I have to put a caveat in here, which is the bar for what most local business owners are currently doing is so low. They're almost doing nothing. Like almost all of these businesses that I'm talking to, and I talk to businesses all the time. I'm part of our Chamber of Commerce. I go to these networking events all the time. Like I've talked to tons of local businesses. And on top of that, through DoubleStack, there's like all these great other web designers talking to other local. So like I have access to a ton of local businesses. And what I'm noticing is most of these local businesses do almost nothing at all with their marketing. Like before they even get into the AI stuff, like they don't really have anything like they might have a website that doesn't really help them. Their Google business profile is not serving them. They probably aren't regularly posting to their Facebook page. They're not leveraging email. They're not, it's like whatever they're doing is just so scattered that it's almost nothing. Sometimes I feel like it is even worse than nothing because they're sort of inoculated against things that actually help. Because they're, oh, I've already got a website. I don't need a website. Oh, we've already got a Facebook page or whatever. And so because they have the things, they assume that they're doing the right stuff. And I really feel like, especially, I know this is a little bit advanced psychology or whatever, but there's a huge difference between having the right thing and doing the right thing. And like a really good way to understand this is like, think about all the people that have like treadmills. It's like, oh, I've got a treadmill, but it's probably just like a clothing rack, right? It's like most people don't use the treadmill, even though they have it, and therefore they don't actually get the benefits of the exercise that they otherwise would if they were properly using their treadmill. And the same thing applies to websites and marketing and all this other stuff. It's like a lot of these local business owners feel like they have what they need, and therefore they don't need to talk to you because they already have what you're offering, even though they're not doing what you would recommend that they do with those things. And that's just a huge thing. So the bar is so low. Like, I think that there's like 4 major things that these local business owner needs before they even get into the AI stuff in order to just start laying the foundation. I consider these to be like the 4 pillars of local business marketing. And the first one is they've got to have a Google business profile, and it's got to be radically optimized usually compared to what they're normally doing. And so there's a huge emphasis on making sure their Google business profile is fully filled out and accurate. And then the second of the 4 pillars is their website. Like you need to have content on the website that mirrors the content that you're posting to the Google business profile. The third one is their Facebook page, and it doesn't have to be a ton on Facebook. It's like 2 or 3 major things. Like design the header image so it looks professional. So that's 1. Number 2, make sure all of the business contact information, like their name, address, phone number, website, like all that stuff that's like in the top left corner of Facebook, like make sure that is identical to what you're saying on Google and what you're saying on your website. So like all of your name, address, phone number, the NAP stuff, like all of that main contact information is identical in all 3 locations. And then just post once a month, maybe once a week. Like I'm not trying to grow an audience. Like I'm not saying you need to only post once a week to grow an audience, because like you need to post way more than that if you're trying to like build a following on Facebook. But all I'm saying is, if somebody is asking for a referral for an HVAC business, you've got a client that has HVAC services, post like once a week or at least once a month, so that when somebody comes over to the Facebook page, when they say, hey, does anybody know an HVAC company? Oh yeah, you gotta go call Hutchins Mechanical, and somebody tags Hutchins Mechanical in a comment on one of those referral posts, and then they go to the page, it ought to look legit, right? Like it ought to look, oh, these people are in business, they're doing good work. It's not like the last post was from 2020 or something. It's like, it's legit. And so then people will actually call. So that's all I'm saying. So those are like the major 4 pillars, and like, local businesses aren't doing that. They're not even coming close to doing those types of things. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned the email marketing. The email marketing is the 4th one. So you got the Google business profile, the website, Facebook, and email marketing. And I mean, it's such a shame to see how many local businesses do nothing with email. I mean, it really kind of breaks my heart a little bit, to be honest with you, because there's these businesses suffering when they don't have to be. Like, email is such a profitable thing. And there's two sides. There's like front end email marketing where you're trying to bringing in leads, nurture them, qualify them, kind of bring them in as customers for the first time. And then there's like the back end email marketing where you're focusing more on customer loyalty, kind of like the nudgers is an example of back end email marketing. But, just getting people to come back more often. And so like if you can do those 4 things, the Google profile, the website, Facebook, and email, like that is huge. So I would just say like have an offer that has that, because I haven't even talked about automation or AI or anything in any of those 4 things with regard to the client's marketing or the client's workflow. You might use AI in your own workflow to start implementing some of that stuff, like the copy for the website, like we talked about. But like that would be like the first and like easiest win of all, is just like have an offer like that, because the bar is so low. Like it's just like there's so much we can do, like people like you and me can do to help these local business owners. And they don't even know it. It's awesome. It's so uplifting to be able to like see the lights turn on in people's eyes when they realize that you've got this like turnkey proven system that really works, and they're like not doing any of that stuff. So then it comes to, well, how do I actually get clients to buy all this stuff? And I think there's 3 steps. The first step is the introduction comes from small favor marketing. Like out of all the things that are going on in the world right now with regard to web design and marketing, I think that the most effective way to reach clients is through small favor marketing. I don't want to get too deep into what small favor marketing is right now. If you want to see more about this, I have an entire workshop on our website. Just go to doublestack.net/local legends. I'll put a link in the description for it. And you can see, I mean, we are getting crazy response, like up to 20, sometimes even greater than 20% response rates. You got to check that out. But that's like a whole video into itself. But the point behind it is that small favor marketing is when you offer a client something that's small that you can do. It doesn't take a ton of time, but there's value in it even if they don't hire you for anything. That's the trick. It's got to have value even if they don't hire you for anything. And so what that means is there's a lot of things that people consider to be small favors that aren't really helpful, like an SEO audit, for example, or a website review, or even building like a free website. It's like, what good is an SEO audit if they don't hire you to fix all the problems that you just uncovered? And so for that reason, they have to like hire you to unlock the value, and that's why the small favor that's what the response rate's too low for things like that. So you need to have something that you can offer to the client that's valuable. They get the results from it, even if they don't plan to hire you. Now maybe they will, maybe they'll hire you to do more, but like that's what that whole video on the local legends thing, doublestack.net/local legends, that goes really deep into some examples of how to do that. So that's the first thing, and that gets you connected with people. So now you can actually talk to these local business owners. And then the second thing is offer that core 4-pillar system with the Google Business Profile, the website, the Facebook, and email as the main thing. Because everybody can understand all 4 of those things. Like everybody knows that they should get traffic from Google. Everybody knows they need a website. Everybody knows that people talk about referral kinds of things on Facebook all the time. And it's very easy to illustrate why having an email list is extremely important, probably even more important, and in fact, significantly more important than the sum total of all of their social media followers. So like when you can present that as a core offer, well, now you have like this small favor that's kind of building the relationship. It's positioning you in this leadership position and building rapport and trust and demonstrating that you're good at stuff. And then you've got this core offer, which is such a huge thing. It's like there's such a huge difference between showing up and like just asking like how many pages do you want, what colors do you like, and just sort of being an order taker with no real offer. And now you're showing up as like a marketing strategist with a proven system. Like that's a huge difference. I feel like it's an inversion of the old school way of doing web design, because now you're the leader. Like you're taking the reins. You're bringing your leadership into this client relationship, as opposed to them trying to figure out how to provide the leadership for something they don't even know what they're doing. Like imagine if I walked into some kind of mechanic shop or something and they're like, well, what do you want me to do? It's like, I don't know. I don't know how to fix anything. I don't know how to do carburetors or whatever. It's like, I just need you to fix the car. And that's sort of the old school way of doing web design. It's like the client comes in and just tells people like us what to do, and then we try to do it. But now, instead of that, like the client is never going to ask for that 4-pillar system. And so if you can demonstrate that you have that, now you're this like a strategist with a proven system that you know works. And that's great, because now they're going to start seeing some results from that. And then the third step is where the AI upgrades come in. Like once you have the rapport from the small favor marketing, once you've proven that you've got a solid foundation for the client, then they can upgrade into some of these AI services like missed call text back, AI assistants, chatbots, and even stuff like predictive lead scoring. Because at this point, they've got a relationship with you now, and like you've got much deeper reach into their business. So those are the 3 steps: small favor marketing, core offer, and then upgrade into the AI services. But there's some things that have changed so radically this year. And like going into 2026, I think that's 3 major things that have just died in the web design and marketing world. So check out this video over here if you want to see the 3 things that I think have died this year that will not be the case at all in 2026. Like how do you prepare for next year? Check this out here. And if you want to see how we're doing the small favor marketing, I'll put a link right up here for you. All right, I'll see you soon.